Yes, Patrick, we just saw the new OIDs you downloaded.
Yeah, I'll go over that in the call.
Okay, good.
Any other initial questions there before we start in?
I do have some questions about some of the other things, but I think maybe they would work better.
Go ahead and bring it up, okay?
Okay. Well, I was looking at the Confederate Bank Bill of Exchange.
Confederation Bank.
I do think
Articles of Confederation Bank.
Articles of Confederation, right. And I presume that the memo field is just like the check memo field. Do you state what the thing is for?
Yeah, but we're coming in basically under the Articles of Confederation, okay? See, this is the fallacy that everybody out here has been operating with, okay? They think that they have to utilize the Constitution. The Constitution's only for the chartered corporation. The Constitution is not for us, the living. We are per the Declaration of Independence and per the Articles of Confederation. Those are two treaties with man and corporations, or man over the underlines, okay?
Okay.
That you make your declaration, and then basically you set out your treaty, and those are treaty laws. The Constitution is nothing but a charter for a civil government that was out here. And then in 1871, they brought in this postal government. And I posted a document up on that about the incorporation. But at that same year, that's when they brought the postal system into this country.
Yes.
And started bringing in the postal savings monetary system of exchange, the debt money system of usury.
Someone's got their speakerphones up. Turn off your speakerphones, please, or mute yourself with *6.
Hey, Patrick?
Thank you.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up something. Can you go into, just briefly, since you're talking about the postal, it came out on the news about it said the Postal Service was going to start offering some kind of banking, I guess it was. I don't know the exact story.
The whole thing about that is, they're going to basically start allowing you to do more banking things through the postal system inside the bank. That is not the de jure banking system. That is the postal banking system. Okay? It's no damn good. It's just another means until you get out of the system, okay? Until you realize who you really are. You are first a trader or barterer, okay, of just exchange. Then your right-hand person is basically your cashier, the one who makes the settlement for your bank, because you are a banker. And then the third person you have is basically your court, and that would be your clerk of court of equity. And equity is just out here, is just exchangement, just barter. That's why they cannot have a court of equity, a corporation. They can never give true equity or true justice. You're the only one that can give true justice. They can give civil justice, but that, in a lot of cases, never fully compensates for all the harm that has been caused. So true justice is never fully accomplished in a civil court.
So there is no court of equity except us?
No, Tom, you didn't hear me. We are the court of equity.
Yes, except
There
us,
is
right.
no court of equity out there. We are the court of equity.
Yes, okay. That's what I meant.
Yes, there is a court of equity, and it's us.
Right, okay.
Okay? And that's why they had to give that back to the people. They falsely tried to claim it from us with the Constitution. They wrote it into the Constitution, and then they had to write it out of the Constitution per the 11th Amendment. But see, people don't see everything, and they're running off half-cocked, trying to go after the Constitution and the statutes at large and enacted laws and all this other garbage. Hey, you're not under that. Okay? You can't go into their courts because if you read that other document that I just posted up there about the incorporation of 1871 for the United States, it says in there that basically a fiction has to be on the same level in a suit. So if you're the living individual, you can't deal with a fiction. You can't enter the world of the dead. You can't go and talk to Grandma Alice, okay? She's dead and gone.
Patrick?
Yeah.
I think it might help other people to understand what you really truly meant by the 11th Amendment and the unalienable rights that the Declaration had supported, that the United States or the corporation had no jurisdiction or authority over equity. Could you make a comment for everybody, because they've been talking about this?
Well, that's what is in that document that I posted the other day. Okay, it clearly states in there, but it also states in numerous other places out here, and we are a banker. Okay, we're the only ones that can give real asset value to anything. Okay,
right.
I don't need to go over this. Basically, bring out the damn dictionaries and read the damn definitions. Okay? Stop going to all those damn codes and everything else and all the bar attorneys' law dictionaries, and go try and find a real dictionary that may tell you the truth. It's in the book of Ruth. It's in the Bible, numerous places throughout the Bible there. But see, you don't want to believe that the Bible is not a religious book. It's a book of banking, of just exchangement.
Wow.
Now, I put up 2 new documents up there. Okay, we went to the post office, okay, with the items, or not to the post office, but to the IRS in Philadelphia. Should have heard a response back within 2 to 3 hours, okay, for what I faxed into them. Didn't hear anything. So I said, wait a minute, there's something we're missing. Well, I went and looked that night, and what I saw that we were missing was in that International Bill of Exchange document was a banker's acceptance. And we were doing the bills of exchange about 5 years ago. So basically everything that I've done for the last 5 years basically has all been, we haven't done anything wrong, okay? That's why they can't come after us in any of our instruments that we've submitted out there, because they're all valid. The only fallacy that we had was that we needed to have a banker's acceptance on our bills of exchange. Well, you can take it down to your local bank and see if they will put a banker's acceptance on it. More than likely, they're not going to, because most of them don't know this, okay? They just started up Joe Blow's bank 10 years ago or so, okay? So they have no understanding about what is going on with H.R. 192. We have to take our bill of exchange from either our trader or our barterer, okay? He is bartering an exchange or trading an exchange. And then we have to take it to our bank executive officer or one of the executive officers, and one of our executive officers is our cashier, our chief cashier. So we do a countersigning or a banker's acceptance with our bank chief cashier. And then to put the icing on the cake, we do a voucher, a banker / court voucher / warrant. And all warrants have to come from the clerk of the court. So we are a court of equity giving justice out here. We're the only ones that can give true justice. The Supreme Court can't give true justice. The Court of Equity or the Court of Claims, they can't give true justice. Only we can give true justice. In a gentleman's exchange, to where every party is fully satisfied and happy. And that's where you operate in the world of right and wrong. And under free will. Not under a controlled will, like basically everybody else out here, under being a United States citizen, is being a controlled entity. So I put up that item the other day, Friday and Saturday there, for the voucher, the new voucher to go, and we will send those into, right now I'm sending one into the Secretary of the Treasury for $1 million with the voucher, and a Form 56 along with it. So 3 documents. And then I'm sending one for $250,000 to the Treasurer of the United States. So I'm going to hit them twice. Now, there should be a federal banking window to where all banker acceptances are deposited or exchanged with the Treasury, the central bank. The small banks bring their banker acceptances in and exchange them with the central bank to get currency out of that central bank. And there should be a banker's window out there, and I think I was to it 4 or 5 years ago when I went to the branch office in Federal Reserve Banking branch office in my state capital. There has to be a banker's window somewhere in that state capital or in most major cities. And then they would send out the Brinks truck with your cash to deliver it to you. Or if you went in there, basically you could walk out with it. You've seen it numerous times on the damn movies. All these security Brinks trucks or whatever running all over town, taking cash and delivering it to the banks because of the bankers' acceptances.
Patrick?
Yes.
Okay, just real quick, I was hoping you could cover this. Okay, 1099 OIDs back 08, 09.
I'll get to the OID after we get through with the bankers.
Oh, okay. Okay, go
bill
ahead.
of exchange and voucher and
All right.
that. Okay, let's get that
no
straight
problem.
first. Okay.
Okay, good.
So, has everybody downloaded that bill of exchange and banker's acceptance document, and then also the 1778 American voucher?
I think they have.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, is there any questions on it?
I had just minor questions, and that was on the bill of exchange. I presume the memo field is just like the check memo field, where you say what the purpose of that.
Yes, that's all you're doing. Okay.
And at the bank EIN, you're either putting your 98 or your estate EIN.
Preferably, it's going to be your banker's EIN, your foreign
98.
grantor trust EIN, because that is a bank EIN. Okay, the other is a dead coffin EIN.
Okay, right. And
we have that in the cemetery. Okay.
Yeah. And is it possible to ask for post office money orders too, as well as a direct deposit or cash?
No, get them to bring either cash to you or direct deposit. Okay.
Okay. And should we fax and mail, both fax and mail?
Yes.
Okay. And where you say the document that you're including the original bank claiming certificate, that's the public banking certificate with the picture of the certificate of live birth on it, right?
Well, it's just the reference number, okay? The certificate of live birth registration number.
Right. Okay. But yes, and you have a document there where we can put our picture of our certificate, and the title of it was public banking certificate.
What the hell that one was? That was probably in the one that went to the IRS. Okay.
I think that was in the termination folder.
Yeah. Okay. That's different. Okay. That's it. You either basically that is your certificate of your hospital birth certificate or your entry out of the Bible. Okay.
Okay.
That is your real document. Your original birthing.
Yeah, my original.
Record.
So my
your
original
let's
right.
Stop. Okay.
My footprint.
Whatever. Okay. The original documents come from the living. The corporation can never have the original document. They only have some semblance, okay? They only have a record. That you're the living, okay, record. And your living record doesn't have to be on paper. But you have that, and you have that in your private records, okay?
Okay.
People think time destroys everything, okay? Out here. It used to be out here that a pink slip was basically the full ownership of a vehicle. But they fraudulently got this certificate, state certificate of title, claiming that away from you. That is not that's a counterfeit instrument. The pink slip is still the valid, de jure proof that you own that vehicle. But they've got everybody so ingrained because the people's minds out here can only, at the max, and I mean at the max, can only handle 6 months knowledge at a time. Most of them, 6 weeks or 6 days.
Hmm.
I mean, I've looked at bills of sale that down through the history in this country for my family. Okay? Basically, all it needs to be in a bill of sale is a signature by the seller and the buyer. Done deal. Now, everybody thinks that they have to have 2 witnesses out here, but they don't understand what that 2 witnesses was in the Bible. The 2 witnesses were your right and left persons. Your 3, I am, and I am. The 3 I ams that Jesus tried to lay out.
What if you only have one hand?
You got a nub or whatever, or a gripper or whatever, you put that, dip it in red ink and tap that on there, okay? You still got a right and left. That's all it's trying to say is you've got a right and a left. You've got right and wrong. Not that they're both, one is right and the other one's wrong, but basically you've got 2. If nothing else, use your damn toes.
Yeah, they got prints on them. Use your footprint like the birth certificate.
Yes, your footprint has lays out on it too. Okay, because it's just like another hand. It's got tracks and everything else that run around it. In this country, yeah. Now, some people on a bill of sale in the past, when a farm was sold or something like that, back in before the 1900s, they would get 2 witnesses to sign on there. They didn't have no notary public out there. The notary publics didn't come about until basically forced in by the postal system. By the English. And then it was primarily in the civil or the postal government system that they needed to have somebody, because they don't have free will, and they can't put down their fingerprints or anything like that as a witness. Because in most cases, they're operating under a bond of protection, a private bond. In the civil government was what it was supposed to be. And then in the postal government, it's under a insurance bond of liability. And that's why all of these, this fictional government is a fraudulent government, a counterfeit government, because who do they owe their allegiance to? It ain't to the people. It's to the insurance corporations. Because if they do not do what the insurance corporation wants them to do, they lose their bond of liability. Now, who do they work for? You've got to keep this stuff simple. Okay? And the simple thing is that you have to be out away from them and stay away from their laws. You try and operate with their laws or try and interpret and understand their laws and think you know what the hell they're doing, you never will. They will change the game on you.
Yeah, I believe that.
Okay? So, now let's go over questions on that bill of exchange and banker's acceptance and the voucher. If there's anybody that has any questions out there, let's have them right now.
That bill of exchange down there, EIN, I wanted to ask because I know there's some newer people. Is that an undertaking you already have to have that EIN, or you don't? You could do the SSN or no?
Well, you should have one of your EINs, okay, out here.
Okay.
But and if you can't get that EIN, okay, you're not. I don't know what you're doing, okay? Because people have gone and gotten them, okay?
No, I'm brand new. I was just asking. I haven't done this yet. So
you've got to get in and basically get that document that I posted up there about getting the estate EIN for your dead person. And you don't stop if you get a hold of a person there in the IRS and start talking to them, and they start getting you a runaround, you say, I want to talk to your supervisor. And then if you still get a runaround, I want to talk to your supervisor. You evidently do not understand what I want.
Just go up
I ended up going through two, one low person, one supervisor, and then got to the department manager, and basically listened to me for about 15 minutes, and I never even filled out the SS4, okay? I just called up Atlanta and chewed their butts out. So after about a half hour and the last 15 minutes talking to him, basically he said, I'll take care of that. He said, got in touch with Cincinnati, and they sent me out a state EIN. Yeah, when you squeak, you will get the grease.
I like that. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
So on the check portion of the bill of exchange, the EIN would be your estate EIN, and then on the bottom portion would be your foreign grantor EIN?
Okay. The account. Okay. Let me pull it up here. Okay. The account EIN is going to be, if you've got your 98, it's going to be your 98 EIN.
Okay.
Okay? Before you get into this, you should basically get that 98 series EIN. Okay? Because you're not a full banker yet. You don't have your bank.
Okay.
Okay?
So
you've got to have that 98, okay, that foreign grantor trust, because that is your bank in under the Articles of Confederation, okay?
Okay, I have it. I mean, would it go in both locations? Because
yes.
on this, okay.
Yes,
and then the bank routing number would be the zip code for the Treasury?
The zip code, your local zip code. That's your bank routing number.
Okay.
So your zip code dash your 4 digits.
Okay, I got that right then. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then
what about the ADR?
The ADR, basically, what does it say? Drawn to set off the federal debt obligation per account and ADR number. Well, what account do you have that basically is a debt obligation?
Okay.
your certificate of live birth registration.
Okay. Now, have you ever gone over that number on the birth certificate? What's that? What number that is?
It's the one that the state says is the registered number.
Okay. I'm looking at mine here. I can see it. Yeah.
Oh, I don't want to talk about it. Okay. You ought to be able to figure it out. Okay. We've gone over this numerous times over here and discussing all these different states, and basically it's a registration number. It should say right on there, registration number.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Not the serial number or anything like that. Okay, that serial number is basically, that's a bank note, and you can take that then as a bank note if you've got a copy of that and you do not have your bank routing number yet. You can turn around and take that bank note, make it into a bill of exchange, and then take it into your local bank and deposit it and get them. But you're going to have to probably go up to a vice president level or whatever to make this transaction, or the financial manager to make this happen. And it's probably going to have to be at a major banking system like Wells Fargo or American Express.
Yeah, I got my registration number on the top, and I got a red number down at the bottom. So yeah.
Yes, that is just a tracking number for that bank note down at the bottom. And that red serial number, just like on your Social Security card. The number on the back is just a routing or a tracking number for counterfeiting in their world. They've already counterfeited something, and now they're operating with a counterfeit number on the back of a counterfeit document. Whatever. And see, and that's why people go to jail, is because basically people have gotten out here and the government hates competition. So if you try and do something that is outside the scope of what is right, what I've got here is outside that scope, then you are classified as a counterfeiter, even though they are also a counterfeiter, but you're running competition with them, just like Al Capone. That's why he went to jail, because he was running a competition against the government. The government was already bootlegging booze, but
just like
the government wasn't getting their fair share of the profits of what Al Capone was running. So that he was running competition. That's what all these drug runners out here are doing. The government is the biggest drug runner in this country. And they hate competition. This is the postal government, okay?
Yeah.
The dead government. Okay, any other questions on these?
Yeah, hi Patrick, it's Steve.
Yes.
I got a quick question.
What on the OI 1099 OID on the top
now
part?
let's set that aside for right now, please.
Oh, okay. So what? Yeah, go ahead.
I want to talk strictly about the bill of exchange and the banker's acceptance document and the voucher for right now, so that we get this straight, so that everybody on the call understands everything that I've got there.
Okay.
Or if you take your certificate of live birth, if you don't have your 98 series number, you can turn around and take your certificate of live birth and turn it into a bill of exchange on the back, and then have your local bank or national bank, whatever, do the banker's acceptance of that on the bottom. And see, we tried this about 4 or 5 years ago, but all we were getting was basically an acknowledgement from the bank. We weren't really getting a banker's acceptance. So that's why when we then turn around and send them up to the Federal Reserve Bank, they were refusing them. They weren't refusing them, they just never honored them because they were not a complete, accurate instrument. Come on, there's got to be a couple questions out there. I mean,
yeah, I got one.
Okay.
On the bill of exchange and private bankers acceptance. All right, the bank is in the lower left-hand corner of the Department of Treasury, and you got ATT there. Is that Attorney Treasurer, or what's the ATT dot stand for?
Attention.
Attention, all right.
Yeah, attention, Treasurer of the United States.
All right. That was the major question. It looks Trump type, man. It looks really, really good. And that account number, I had a mistake. It was my fault, but you corrected it. It was the account number. I was using the account number as the registered mail number, but that's like from when I'm reading your bill of exchanges, that account is the EIN number, not the registered mail number that I was reading.
For your local bank, okay, you're basically operating everything out of your local bank on that EIN number. You're paying your right-hand person, and just like any corporation, okay, they have an EIN number for that corporation. So basically everybody is under that EIN, but then they have individual accounts underneath that.
Right. Yeah, that's what Yeah, you corrected it.
See, you only have two people you have to pay. Your clerk and your cashier.
Right. Yeah. Looks perfected from here.
Yeah, your right and left-hand persons.
Now that pretty much does it. And then on the top left-hand corner, you got the private American banker's address, meaning the trust that you've established or operating out of. And
yeah, now see, it's not a trust. Okay, even though it has trust in the name. Okay, it's a bank.
Right. Yeah, trust is a bank. Right. Yeah. Oh yeah. Great stuff. Thanks. I'm mute now. Great job.
Okay. Now, if any of you guys have contacts with any of these other guys out here, get this information to them, okay? Basically, show them what they've been missing, okay? That we are the I am, the I am, and the I am, okay? That we are the trader or barterer in the private, and that we are a cashier, a banking cashier, also in the private, and then we are a clerk of our private court. That's the three I ams. Any questions on the voucher?
The vouchies are the United States Treasury and the central bank, and then you use their zip code for the federal ID for those?
I used the Secretary of the Treasury's
ID or zip code?
basically federal ID number, which would be 20220-0001, which was Secretary of Treasury's or Federal ID number.
Okay.
Now, if you're sending it into the Treasurer of the United States, basically she's got a room number, and I just drew the room number as the last 4 digits on there.
Okay. And you did the Secretary of Treasury?
I'm sending one into the Secretary of Treasury for $1 million, and then I'm sending one into the Treasurer for $250,000.
Okay.
And then I'm also in my fax and in my letter, I'm not even going to write a letter. I'm just going to throw the fax into the damn envelope and send that off. And then on that, I'm going to request that I want the contact information for the local bankers, central bankers window.
Okay.
I think I know right where it's at. It's just I want them to say something about it. And I think it's at our local state capital, or if you got a major city out there, and you look around and you find out that there's sort of like a branch Federal Reserve office there. That's where you would probably process your banker's acceptance through them.
Well, I know in New York City there's got to be one.
Oh, there's several of them there. Okay. Yeah, and Die Hard number 3, I think that's where Die Hard with a Vengeance. That's where they blew up the Federal Reserve Bank and basically took all the gold out from underneath it.
Mhm. And there used to be one in Buffalo, but they closed it, I think, a year or two ago. But there's got to be one in Rochester.
Yeah, Rochester's the capital, so. But I think there's still. See, when you look at these movies, okay,
Mhm.
and you see all these Brinks trucks running around, these security, and I mean they've got numerous movies out there about security guards and everything else ripping off the trucks and everything else. Well, they're coming out of basically a lot of these Federal Reserve places, picking up the cash and then taking them out to the local banks.
Those guys should know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to tell you, though.
Well, basically, go into your local bank. Ask them, where do you submit your banker acceptance to?
Good idea.
Okay, you can ask questions. I mean, I think you're still alive. That's the problem. Most people don't know that they're still alive. They're afraid to ask questions. They're controlled out here.
Hey, Patrick, got a question for you.
Yeah.
So now when you say that we're to use our own forms, does that also include making our own Form 56? Or not?
I would use their form for right now, okay?
Yeah.
That form can be used both in the public and in the private. Okay? Read what it says down below.
Yeah, right. I noticed it doesn't have anything under penalty of perjury, so then that makes...
Yes.
All right, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, who are we going to perjure ourselves to if we're operating in the private? Who is superior to us if we're in the private? If we're a sovereign? There is nobody superior to us. Is there?
No.
Any more questions about the vouchers, guys, or the bill of exchange?
No, I think we're pretty clear now.
So you're doing yours for $1 million, you said?
I would do one for like a couple 100,000 or something like that. Okay?
All right.
You're not ready to basically store $1 million, are you? You haven't got a safe or anything like that yet. You haven't got a big enough coffee can or enough of them. So start out with something realistic. Until you fully understand and have, see, you've got to read and understand this and be able to support this. And then you basically, if they come and ask you, you say, I studied. I found out what was going on. I listened. I learned what was going on. And yeah, there was a couple shitheads like Patrick Devine out there that gave me a little information.
I wouldn't put it quite that way.
Well, I would. I mean, I'd throw it right at them. See, they're trying to find out, in some cases, when they're asking that question, is about the sanity, about your sanity. Yeah, that's the only thing that they can try and take you down now out of the living world is if you are insane. To get family members or something like that to contradict your claim of that you are sane. Your worst enemies out there will be your immediate family or friends in a lot of cases. And that is who these guys go to and try and intimidate them because they're still in the system.
So we should help get them out as soon as possible. Cut off that line of attack.
Well, basically, you get yourself out and try and get the understanding, and basically then you substantiate it with your knowledge and understanding, okay?
Yep.
That you're
surprised they haven't come to you.
Huh?
I was just going to say, I'm surprised they haven't come to you yet and said, hey, stop teaching this stuff.
Yeah.
Pat, I got one question.
We'll give you an unlimited credit card. Just don't teach anybody any of this.
No.
Yeah, I had a quick question as far as the bank routing number on bill of exchange and private bankers acceptance. Bank routing number. Now, you got the Department of Treasury down as the bank, the secondary bank, and would the routing number, bank routing number, be the Department of Treasury's?
No, that is your bank routing number. Okay, just like take a look at your check.
Yeah,
okay?
I did. That's why I asked that. It's there.
Yeah, but this is going to. It's an obligation, full faith and credit obligation of the United States Treasury and Central Bank to make the payment.
Right.
But this is my bank's bill of exchange.
All right, got it. Okay.
Yeah. See, my bank address is up there at the top.
Right. Right.
So the bank routing number goes for my bank, not for theirs.
Right.
Okay, I'm just addressing where this needs to be drawn from.
Correct. Yes. All right. Just clarifying that. All right. Thanks.
And the private tracking number is going to be however you send it out, certified.
Whatever number you want, okay?
Oh, okay.
If you want to use a certified mail number or a registered mail number, you can use that, or just use your own private tracking number, okay? Whatever number you want to come up with, yeah.
Okay.
Just like you number your checks.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because that's all a bill exchange is a check.
Yeah.
I like the way you set this up, Patrick. It's pretty cool. That bill of exchange is pretty clean and simple. Pretty straightforward, easy to fill out.
Well, I found a couple templates out there, and then I used them, modified them to my understanding, and looking at what needed to be on here. But for about the last year or two, the ones that I've done, we were missing the banker's acceptance. Hell, I've had my damn 98 series bank number and everything, so I've had my private bank ever since 2010. But nobody ever told me how to be a banker. Nobody ever told us how to do a countersigning on the back of an instrument. And we've revoked the underwritings on the front, but we need to do a countersigning on the back of the instruments, so that basically, and that is a banker's acceptance, a countersigning on the back of those mortgages or those traffic tickets is a banker's acceptance. You're the private banker. So you are doing a countersigning as a banker's acceptance to give the authority and for the settlement, so that now the funds can come out of the insured insurance company, paid over to the insurer, your fictional person, release the funds to him so that now he can make the payment to offset the charge against you as the indemnified.
Oh, okay.
Yes, see, you've got two sets of books. You've got the dead set of books, and then you've got the living interfacing set of books. That's the two books that basically, the two ledgers.
Is that what they call double entry bookkeeping?
Yes. One's for the dead system, and so you have to bring it out of that, settle that account first before you can settle the other ledger. And see, most people are sitting there trying to argue the first ledger, so basically they're not getting anything to settle the living ledger. Okay, so everybody pretty much wrapped up on the bill exchange, the banker acceptance, and the voucher.
Mm-hmm.
I got one question for you, Patrick.
Go ahead.
Now, when you see where it says this person is duly authorized, does that is duly mean on the private and then on the public side as well?
Where's that at here?
I'm just saying.
I don't see that on these documents.
No. Just say
you're operating in the public world, okay, in the postal world, okay, with that statement. You're operating under the attorneys and the bar members, okay?
Yeah, but where does that duly? It's two. So, we're dealing with two sides of the coin here. Figured that maybe you would know, or
no, that. I'm not even going to bother go that. Look up the dictionary, see what you think, okay? But look it up in more than one dictionary.
All right.
Okay.
So the private American
no other
bank
questions? Okay. Okay, we're going on to the OID then. Okay? Let me pull that one up. Now, you'll still be doing a voucher along with this, okay? Okay. They've modified from what we were originally operating back in 2010, 2011, trying to do the OIDs. Back at that point in time, they only had 7 blanks on the left-hand side, or on the right-hand side. Since that point in time, they've now added, gone and added another 5 blanks there for state taxes and withholding taxes, and also a foreign tax paid and foreign country, or U.S. possession, U.S. possession. Okay, so it used to be there was 3 OIDs on one page. Now there's only 2 because of the increased spacing and everything they had to put in here. Okay, we are the payer. Now the only thing you can claim with the original issued discount is what you have paid. Okay, so on a mortgage, you cannot OID the whole mortgage. You take care of that by the countersigning on the back of the mortgage to do the set-off there. And then that will be a direct set-off, okay? But what you have paid out of your back pocket as principal and interest, that has been withheld from you because your indemnifier was supposed to be paying that for you, as you were the indemnified. So you turn around and you put down your chief cashier up there, and basically then your federal zone number, your zip code plus your 4-digit number, and then their zip code plus their 4-digit number. You don't need to have their EIN number, okay? And basically then you come down and the recipient would be the bank or the court or whoever. Now, like on traffic tickets, basically, your who issued that ticket or that driver's license. It's normally against the driver's license. The Department of Transportation would be the recipient. Okay? That is going out in a lot of these cases, but in some cases it's still going to be through the court. So you need to look at this. The appearance bond should be going to the Department of Transportation. Okay? Or a claim against that. So I'm still working on a couple bits and pieces of this to make this all work. What I show here is basically the USPS Business Mail Entry Office at my state capital, and then I have 2 different billing machine account numbers down below. So I got $590 out of one billing machine at my local post office, and then the other billing machine is for about $2,500. Okay.
So this is all postage.
This is all postage. And see, this is what I paid. Okay? I paid this out of my back pocket. But my indemnifier was the one who was really supposed to be making the payment. Because I'm the indemnified. And basically the postal banking system out here is part of this post office, the USPS. Because they brought this in 1871. They're utilizing this dead mail money system. The postal monetary banking system under H.R. 192. And that's really what it is. It's the debt money system. That under H.R. 192, when they took and made us a bankrupt, they set up a fictional bankrupt for us. They made him the indemnifier, and we were the indemnified under their insurance and postal monetary system. So you turn around and you do this with you do the bill of exchange, or this 1099 OID. You do a bill of exchange with each one, okay? And then, or not a bill of exchange. You do a voucher, okay, to claim that. Okay, so we're not going to do a 1040 or 1041 to claim this. We're not going to use their 1040 or 1041 vouchers, because when you look at those vouchers, none of them go to Austin, Texas. In their addresses on those forms. So, and we can't use it. We're not going to make the payment to the U.S. Treasury. The Treasury has to make the payment to us. So we use our private voucher along with this OID, and then we also put a 1096 form in there and send that down to Austin, Texas, at that one address that I addressed last week. Now, any questions on this?
On this particular OID, you did this for postage. Is that what this particular example's for?
Yes.
For postage that you paid out of your back pocket.
Yeah. Now, basically, you could do one for Walmart. You put Walmart down there and basically go to their corporate headquarters. Okay.
Right.
You can, on the receipt that you get, you should be able to get the store number and the cash register number off of that, and that would be the account number at that local store. The store number and the register are the account.
Okay.
Okay, now, is what they added was a foreign tax paid and a foreign country or U.S. possession, Block 5 and 6. So, on the Walmart receipts that you have, now you're not going to find this on your postal receipt because they do not have sales tax. Now, if you live in a state that doesn't have sales tax, then you just forget about 5 and 6. But if you live in a state that does have sales tax, you would add up the sales tax off of those receipts, okay, and put that in Block 5. And then you would put state of Iowa, state of California, in all capital, because they are a U.S. possession.
Beautiful.
And they're also a foreign country to you, too.
Yeah. Okay, here's one. If you paid out of your pocket, say, some taxes, IRS taxes, state taxes, can you OID those too, or no?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. See, that's the thing. You weren't supposed to be paying them to begin with. It was your fiction that was supposed to be paying. You're the indemnified.
Right.
You didn't know how to do the countersigning on that bill and send it back to them so that the funds could be released to your indemnifier, and then your indemnifier could make the settlement under a countersigning as a banker's acceptance on the back of that instrument. Just like what I was talking about before.
Right. Now, you could send this in. You don't have to wait till next year. In other words, if I paid something at the beginning of the year for 2014, I can send this OID in like right away and get it back, or is it like taxes? You know, it's the next year. You know, everything.
Well, basically, yeah, okay, but you should try and do it either at the end of the year, or if as soon as you get they like $300 or $400, $600 or something like that payment out there to be made. Okay.
Okay.
And then in a lot of cases, they're going to try and save it. They're going to have to pay this for a treasury check. So if you can get a non-interest-bearing checking account, get it direct deposited there per your voucher.
Okay.
Or if you've got a debit card or something like that, you can have that directly deposited into that debit card.
Because I just paid like about $8,000 at the beginning of the year for 2012. I had some back tax. I paid it out of my back pocket before I found you guys and knew how to do all this stuff. So I'm going to do one of these for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now,
So
I know back
this.
in
Go
yes,
ahead.
I know in 2009, 2008, OIDs were really, really popular, and a lot of people were doing them, and then all of a sudden a bunch of people got in big trouble. And now everybody's saying, oh, stay away from the OIDs. What, in your opinion, that you know of, if you've heard of that, why do you think that happened to all those people? They got money back, and then all of a sudden the IRS came back
Because
after
they were going after fraudulent. They never made the payment. They never made a payment on those, okay?
Okay.
And see, it says payer's name. That means you had to have paid out of your back pocket.
So you can't do it with a credit card or anything like that then?
Oh, yes.
It's got to be cash. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it had to be like
But
cash.
you can also turn around. You can also turn around and do a banker's acceptance on the credit card bill or the utility bill, and turn around and send it back into them. Give them the banker's acceptance as a countersigning on the back of the bill.
Yeah.
Now they can take that to their bank and have that bank process it through to the Federal Reserve to make the set-off. And you would turn around and send that back with a 1099-C to cancel the debt. But that's only if you have gotten the services. Okay? Like on property taxes. Okay? You do not have to pay all those property taxes that are listed there. look at your damn property tax, okay? They've got probably 15 different categories on that damn property tax. How many of those real have you gotten any service out of? Very little of them, okay? You're going to have to pay the sheriff and the fire department and probably the road and a few items like that. But if you have no kids in school, you don't owe school taxes. You haven't gotten any service from them in the school. If you don't utilize the parks, you don't have to pay for the parks, okay?
Yep.
So you can turn around and claim that back against that, but you turn around and you take that property tax, you do a countersigning as a banker's acceptance on the back of it, and you put a countermand or a counterclaim on there, just like the example that I posted up there for that countersigning.
Right.
And you claim that back.
So it's only money you actually paid out, whether no matter what. I'm talking about the OID now. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You just
only
paid out.
You go down to Walmart and you spend $3,000 in there. Okay. So basically that goes in line one. $3,000. Now, out of that $3,000, there was about 7% of that was property or sales tax. So that 7% is going to go down in line 5. Okay.
Right.
But you're still going to have the $3,000 up there at the top.
Right.
Okay. Then you have the federal income tax that's withheld, so that would be the full $3,000. Line 2 and 3 would be 0. Okay.
Right. Okay.
These forms are not just for our convenience, but basically they're also for others out there in the system that have been utilizing this, like the bankers. Okay.
Yeah.
And they try and claim some of this back. Okay. Now, the original issue discount on the Treasury obligation, there again, since you paid it out of your back pocket, there was no original issue discount yet. Okay, so it's 0.
Yeah.
The investment expenses, so that's 8 and 9, they're both 0. If you have no state taxes withheld out there, then withholding taxes, then like special items, then that would be 0 down below. But now if you have like your labor out here, your payments that they're making, you can OID some of that. But there's another way to go about that too. You basically get as a independent contractor as under your 98 series number, and you do not have a W-4 form.
Yeah. How far back
if
can
they
you
don't
go?
want to hire you, then basically you go out and you start working on your own.
Yeah. How far back can you go and claim these? How many years back?
Basically, the best thing to do is let them settle it when you get and try and close down the whole account.
I got you.
Yeah. There are public servants. We're not their servants, so we don't do all the legwork.
Right. Just countersign it to begin with, basically.
Yeah.
Pretty cool. Cool stuff.
Hey, Patrick, do we
now,
have to order this?
Something?
Go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to say, don't you have to send something though? I have heard to the recipient that you're doing this, or no? Or is that a 1099-A or something like that? I forget.
No, you send them their copy out of this. Okay.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. See, there's several copies in this. Okay.
That's right. There's A, B, and yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then read what I have in the description. A private American bank, and then the number that goes in there is my 98 series number, and then 1099 or 1778 AV banking court voucher set off for the indemnified obligation owed from the USPS corporate usury held in the United States Treasury per the Postal Monetary Banking System under H.R. 192. So you would take out the USPS Corporation and put Walmart Corporation or something like that in there.
Right.
Okay?
Cool.
Patrick, can you use this for money orders for something like storages or anything like that? From the post office, money orders?
You've got a receipt.
Yep.
You're going after the receipt at that billing machine.
Got it.
Yeah, see, you pull up all those machines, and they all have a number, an account number. So that's the account number that's down below there. So you go through all your receipts that have that same billing machine account number on there, and that's one OID. And then look at it. I've got two of them there. I've got one for 99, I think. I think I did that. Got one's 98 and the other's 99. They're the two machines that I have in my local post office. Sometimes they use the one cash register, sometimes they use the other cash register. And see, that's what's registering that payment.
And you have box 1 and 4 the same. So I guess you're saying that the postage that they charged was federal income tax.
Yes, it is federal income tax. They're withholding it from us because it's a liability that is owed to us.
Okay.
It says on the side there, just file with a 1096. Is that no?
Yeah, you have to send in a 1096 along with the voucher, this 1778 American voucher or whatever voucher you want to make. If you want to change that voucher around, change it. Make it your own, okay? And this, and then the original, a copy, you send this, and the vouchers, and the 1096, and you send them down to Austin, Texas, that one address that we talked about, I think, last week.
Yeah. Are they very good about if you make a small mistake? Are they do they get real down on you if you do something?
I don't think so, because basically nobody's gotten this damn far, okay? Some people have sent this in and gotten money back in 30 days.
Okay.
But if we do this right, we should get something back in 3 days. Because this is a banking transaction.
Yeah.
Now, see, once you start understanding that you are a bank, now you're operating under international banking laws, which is 3 days for settlement. I mean, if it's good for the fictional people out there, it's good for the gander, too.
Yep.
And all those gooses out there.
Some of them turkeys, too. Oh, man, this is awesome.
Would the UCC tie into that since it's banking law? Would the UCC codes, Uniform Commercial Codes, tie into this because it has the banking laws? Or,
you don't even mention that, okay?
Oh, is it because it's private?
Please, stay in the private. Operate with the Declaration of Independence and the Articles of Confederation.
I'm just trying to figure out.
All the rest is for the government, not for you. Okay, it's for a chartered corporation. All those laws and bylaws and all that shit does not apply to you.
Right.
That's the problem. Everybody's out here trying to learn all this other fraudulent law shit, and they can't even understand the real law.
Right. I'm just trying to figure out where you got the 3 days from, and what's the surrounding body of laws that's found in.
Well, I don't know. I think it's all the way throughout the Bible, death and resurrection in 3 days' time.
Oh. All right. Cool.
Yeah. You brought the debt in. Now they have to resurrect it back into the living world, okay? Even in an act of war, okay? And only war can be declared by a breach of commerce, okay? When commerce is stopped after 3 days, then you can declare war. See, it was the postmaster in this country that basically was able to declare war because he was the one who could claim that commerce had been impeded.
Wow.
Because he's the delivery man.
Yep.
And if he can't make his deliveries, then commerce is impeded.
It's all about the money, huh?
You
Mail
got
us
it.
money.
Okay, any other questions here? I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Read the instructions. Okay? But you have to learn how to read between the lines.
Yeah, that's the...
Yeah, we have to order these from the IRS or else go to a tax office and get them, right?
Yeah.
I think you got to order these.
And the 2014 OIDs weren't available as of a few days ago.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah, they've been up there, but they haven't delivered any yet. And they're short on the 2013 OIDs because I put an order in, I think, for 30 of them. I never got the original. Well, they sent one out, but they sent 30 DIVs instead of the OIDs, so I had to just shit-can those, and then I had to put another order in for the OIDs, and then I only got 10 of them when they sent them out this last time, which I got them just a couple days ago.
Yeah, I ordered my set of 1099 ABCs and OIDs about a month ago, and I got them just about 4 or 5 days ago, and they were 2013s, not 2014s.
Yeah.
So
well, that's
so
what they're going to be. That's what you ordered.
No, I ordered 2014s, and they took that order.
2014s won't be there yet. Okay.
Yeah, they're
right.
not
Well,
out yet.
I called back in, and yesterday they said they were Thursday. They said they were going to expedite them to me. We'll see if they do.
Couldn't you just cross out the 3 and put a damn 4 on it? I mean,
Now, if I'm doing my mortgage, do I have to put the 1099 in first before I do the OID on it? Or can I
No.
just do, I can do the OID?
Well, basically, you better do, if you got the mortgage, you better be doing the countersigning on the back and the 1099-C first, okay?
Yeah.
And you can do the OID at the same time and send them out in the mail all together.
Because they all go to Austin, don't they?
Well, the 1099-C, the red copy will. You'll send it down to them. Okay? And but you need to get that mortgage over to the mortgage place to get that set off. You need to get that out of your hair.
I do. I really do.
Okay?
Hey, Patrick.
Yeah, and that's what that mortgage has to be processed in and do the countersigning as the banker's acceptance on the back of it, and order, and then put a 1099-C canceling that amount of the debt. And then, like I said, then anything, all the principal and interest that you paid out, you would mark that down against that bank that they are withholding that, and they owe that to the Treasury. Okay, so basically now we've identified that federal tax that's been withheld, but it's not really being held at the Treasury per se yet. It's still being held by the bank.
Right.
So the bank so the Treasury now has been notified when you do this to go after them to make that payment over to them.
But they're not paying their taxes.
Huh?
Yeah, they're not paying their taxes.
So
that's when they come after them for taxes.
Okay.
That's the taxes that they owe.
And so putting box 4 there with the taxes, that's basically saying they owe the taxes. Got it.
Yes.
Someone has a lot of noise right now. Could you please mute yourself? It sounds like you're breathing into the mic or got something going on in the background.
When you
sounds
said
like
that,
they're
more. Yeah, it sounds like they're.
Go ahead.
When you send that mortgage in, I've heard people say you need to send it to like the CFO when you're doing a set off. Is that true, or do you just say just send it right back to the address on the?
Well, whoever has it, okay, whoever sent it to you, and you always scan a copy of that for your records.
Right.
Front and back after you've done the countersigning on it, and do the set off, the banker's acceptance countersigning. And then see you're setting that off against your Social Security account number and the mortgage number.
Yeah.
Okay? Anything else?
No, this is good.
Patrick, you posted the Philippians up there, and I've read it, and I can see that it's basically saying be good, do good, treat people well. How did you mean it to apply to the documents we're doing?
Well, basically that is, if you read the very beginning of it, they were the ones that came to the aid of Paul when he was in prison. So they were coming in with just exchangement to get him bailed out of the fraudulent charges.
I should have seen that.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
And see, that's why Philadelphia is the de jure seat of the banking system in this country. That's where we got our 98 series number to become a foreign banker.
That memorandum that you posted too, that's powerful.
That affidavit?
That is.
Memorandum of law points on the
Exchange.
International Bill of Exchange.
Oh, okay. Well, that was somebody else that basically had that, and I went through that the other day, and that's where I saw. And it talked about trade acceptance and bankers acceptance, and then about 3 or 4 years ago, some lady told me about trade acceptances. Well, basically, I knew, went and found when that came about in 1916 about the trade acceptances. But I didn't see the item about the bankers acceptances, and then I got thinking, I said, wait a minute, we're a banker. We have to do the acceptance on the bill of exchange. Our trader or barterer does the bill of exchange, and then we, as our cashier for our clerk, we have to do the banker's acceptance of that, so that now it gives the authenticity to go to the set-off window, the discount window at the Federal Reserve banking system with the Treasury, so that we can get the just currency. Now, see, we're the only ones that can put the lawful currency into circulation under the green seal side of that Federal Reserve dollar, not under the debt money. And see, then when it's under just strictly the green seal, it has to stay in circulation. Under the black seal, it's out there only for 3 years. And then it's under the control of the bankers, and the bankers can pull that money out of the circulation at any point in time. But they can't pull the other green seal money out of circulation.
So are you saying that there's actually dollar bills or whatnot out there that don't have that green seal on it? They're just black?
No, they have both of them on it. But you don't see that each one of them has a registration number on them. And basically, watch the movie Mad Money.
Okay.
They go in and destroy old money. Well, they're going in and looking at the dollar bills periodically. They run them through the Federal Reserve banks to take them out of circulation, because that's one of the obligations of the comptroller of the currency, is that all debt money out there that was put into circulation on a 3-year time period per the bonds that were on a 3-year time period, that those Federal Reserve dollars have to come out of circulation.
Okay.
And then new ones are issued under new bills of exchange or loans or whatever that a local bank has a banker's acceptance on. But if we come in the de jure with our de jure banker's acceptance, we would be putting the money into circulation as full value money, and it would be strictly under the green seal side of the dollar bill. Even though it's got a black seal on it, it has to stay in circulation. It can't be pulled out after 3 years. So if it gets damaged, they have to print a new one up with that same serial number. And put it into circulation. Hopefully you understand that.
Yeah, I understand that, but once you buy something at the hardware store and turn it over, how are they going to know it's lawful money?
They don't need to know, okay?
Okay.
Hidden in plain sight.
So that dollar bill does have value then.
once you make it have value. Otherwise, it's just a debt instrument that hasn't been set off for the obligation out there yet.
I gotcha.
Yeah, see, you're the only lawful banker out here. And you're the only one that can give justice to this country. A charter organization under civil law and their criminal law. And see, there's 3 levels of courts out here. Equity, which is just law. Okay? And that's the court that we have. Then you have the Constitution government, which is operating under civil law, civil and constitutional law, and they have civil law and criminal law. And then you have the 14th Amendment postal government, the dead government out here, 14th Amendment, and the only court that they can handle is basically a criminal court, because they are criminals. They're dead. They're in the crematorium.
Yeah, that's the false religion.
Yeah, and it's a false religion. A
Hey,
violation
Patrick,
of Article 1. Yeah, they violated, I don't know how many of the first 12 articles out there.
Hey, Patrick, sometime...
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, one of these days, I'd like to hear your rendition of The Wizard of Oz.
Well, what do you want to know about it?
Well, I've heard, just the symbolic of, the Tin Man, the lion, the scarecrow, was kind of told, that's your fiction, your bankrupt fiction. The Tin Man had an oily, he was rusted because he didn't know how to sign. He couldn't sign, countersign is the way I'm interpreting it now. And the lion didn't have the courage to do it. So I don't know. I just kind of that's basically what I was referring to.
Well, basically, just the straw man. What was he missing? He was missing a brain. Okay, and basically, what do you got? 99% of the country out here is mindless idiots, okay? Then you have the Tin Man, and what was he missing? He was missing a heart. And basically, how much brotherly love is out here in this country? Very little, okay? And then you have the lion, and basically, the lion was a coward. And basically, that's what 99% of the people out here in this country are, too. They're cowards. The IRS sends them a letter and basically, oh, shit, we got to do this or else we're going to go to jail. Because they don't have a brain, they don't have a heart, and they don't understand dick shit. Okay, so now you got the 3 players there. And basically, they were all parts of Dorothy. She was a scatterbrain, okay? She didn't know who she was. She was just a girl that basically was just operating out there just like every other 12 or 13-year-old girl, total scatterbrain. Of course, it could have applied to most guys at that age, too. But 99% of the guys right now, even up the ages 60 and 70. Especially that are controlled by a woman or anything like that don't know how to take a stand and basically be the head of the household. And then basically you got little Toto, which was the dog that pulled the curtain back to expose the wizard in the process. And then basically you have to have the liquidation, and that's what we're doing, is we're coming in and we're ordering up the liquidation of these accounts. And basically we're claiming banking fraud. Now, if they do not comply, then we will have to send these into a civil court to interface with them in the process. And one of the key civil courts for this would be that Court of International Trade there in New York City, because at least on their emblem, and see, they can only hear civil cases. They do not hear criminal cases. Okay? And so, and their seal has Lady Justice with no blindfold on.
Really?
Yeah, so that might be the only court that we can really supply this into, but we should be able to get something moving at the others. But cut to the chase, you might just want to go to the head of a snake. Stop nipping at the tail.
I'd sure like to see that happen.
Patrick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Did you do a new countersigning for like the mortgages and stuff, or should we use the one that you used on the bill of
Just
exchange?
take that Word document and modify it for your purpose, okay? I'm not going to think for you.
No.
I gave you that much information. Now you ought to be able to take that and make it up for yourself.
I'm just asking if you had posted something, because I didn't see it, but I see what you have.
No, because I don't have a mortgage, so I'm not going to take the time and effort to waste my time to do one for a mortgage.
Right. No,
you guys ought to be able to do that, okay?
That's fine. Okay, I'm just asking.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? I mean, the shit that I put up there, basically I ought to be charging you $1,000 a week for some of these documents.
Yeah.
They're worth it. Well, we'll
once
get
we
to
get
them.
that money, bank. Once we get those Brinks trucks coming over here, then you can.
Yeah, well, that's the only way you can get and basically find out. Ask your local bank, where do you take your bank acceptances? Where do they get sent into? Where is the discount window that you send your bank acceptances into?
I'm going in tomorrow to do some banking. I'll ask that question.
Yeah. See, until you ask the question, you're not going to find the answer.
Wouldn't that be at the Federal Reserve's discount window? I think they shut that down.
Maybe yes and maybe no. They still got to do processing out here from the Treasury. And basically there is a Treasury office. They've got Secret Service offices in every state capital. They got the U.S. Marshals there. They've got to have the U.S. Treasury people there too. They got the postal inspectors there. They got all of the different functions of government in Washington, D.C. at the state capitals also.
Yeah, I'm near Toledo in Ohio, and it's not the biggest city in Ohio, and there's Secret Service here. I was able to locate that office.
Yeah, see, the Secret Service works for the Treasury.
Hi, Patrick.
Okay.
I'd like to ask you a question. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Okay, it's Marvell, LibreMax.
Okay.
I was looking at your paperwork and listening to one of your audios that you did 2/5/14 and your update paperwork, and I noticed, especially the conversation tonight with the zip code and the 98 series number, and just let me know.
You faded out.
Yeah,
still there. Just let you know what.
No, just let me know.
You're having signal problems. You're dropping out.
Let's see. Let me put something. Let me just stop something.
Now we can.
Guys, what you need to do is listen to the audios for the last couple weeks, okay? Skip those ones that were about 6-8 months ago, okay? Just listen to the stuff that's in the last couple weeks. That's the latest information, and basically that, in a lot of cases, has overridden the information that was out there a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, whatever, okay? This is the information you have to have now, okay?
Oh.
Okay? You're still cutting in and out,
Oh.
and I'm just hearing bits and pieces of what you're saying.
Oh, you're probably in a bad location. Okay, so I guess
your cell phone or whatever is cutting out on you. I don't know whether you can hear me or not.
What? Yeah, I can hear you. Let me try to call you on the cell phone right quick because it's really important to ask you this one.
Okay.
Okay, I'll call right back.
Now that's clear.
I know. I was just going to tell him that.
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody else have anything there?
It seems pretty clear, Patrick. Just got to go do it. It answers a lot of the questions I've had before. I guess
I have a question.
Yeah.
Go.
If I were going to, I just got my W-2 form, and I want to get all the taxes back. How would I go about doing that?
Well, you turn around, you put basically a 1099 OID in against that they withheld that from you. Okay.
Okay.
So it's better to do that than, because what people have been doing is writing that off against the tax that they owe, which is totally
you
wrong.
don't owe any taxes, okay? But you have to do the countersigning of that, okay? To where you get your full payment out here. So in a lot of cases, you might have to do a 1099 C or A to also support that.
Yeah.
So you need to get an understanding of what those forms are all about.
So it's always about withholding. Anything about withholding is pretty
and
much.
basically but you have to get the funds released over to your indemnifier so that your indemnifier can make the payment to you. Because he can't do it. He's dead.
Yeah.
And see, that's where the Form 56F comes in, and you basically have put him under an estate charge now, and then you basically process him over the funds either using a 1099A or C, and then the OID for what you paid out of your back pocket for all the items at the stores.
Mm-hmm.
And then you start burying your stuff in the backyard, your private bank.
So do I understand this correctly that my W-2, I should countersign that?
Well, you'll have to take a look at it. You'll have to think about that, okay?
Okay. I need to have a better understanding of what the 1099A does. I think I understand what the 1099C and OID do, but the A,
1099A is for abandoned property.
Okay.
And what have you done? You've abandoned it.
Okay.
I heard you have 3 years after your mortgage or whatever. You even mentioned it about the bonds. That a bank, if you don't do it, the bank.
There is no statute of limitation upon fraud.
No.
Okay?
Yeah.
And basically, they've been operating in banking and mail fraud out here, and also in a conspiracy to defraud you. So you got fraud all over the damn place.
Mm-hmm.
The whole postal monetary system is a complete fraud. It's a counterfeit. Counterfeit is a fraud. And then see all these corporations out here, these postal corporations, 14th Amendment corporations, they are also all trying to operate as a BENEVOLENT. Look the word up. But they're trying to operate as a charitable organization. They're not. They're really a for-profit organization. And that is a fraud also. But you have to come in and claim the conspiracy, because until you claim it, it is not a conspiracy. They're not going to claim conspiracy because they're the conspirators. Okay?
Yes.
Any other questions? That guy get called back in?
No, I'm right here. I'm listening. I didn't want to interrupt you while you was talking.
No, go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay.
Ask your question.
Thank you. The question was your zip code, which that's an account number. Your 98 series number is also an account number. And I mean, this is like blowing up my head in a way. It's like, why can't we use the examples that you have? Because basically, in a way, you are doing that. It's almost like you're writing out checks.
Yes.
Okay. You see, Patrick, that's what I wanted to know, because I keep looking at this, and I'm like, wait a minute. These are checks in with your estate EIN. That's your set-off check. And with your 98 series, which is your foreign grantors, that's your account check. So I'm like, why can't we just, well, I know how to write checks. I was just trying to figure out how to mix those numbers up. Well, one is the transit number, and the other one is the account number. So I'm thinking the 98 series number has to be the account number, and the zip code has to be the transit number. Am I correct on that, or is it the other way around?
The bank routing number is the zip code, and so you have to have a bank routing number from one bank to another. Okay, so that's the zip code plus the 4-digit.
Yes.
Okay. Then you have the bank account number, which is going to be either your 98 series EIN or your estate EIN, depending upon which stage you're in.
Right.
Now, if you're using the 98 series number, you're going to want to use the account that is being drawn from up in the middle of that check, to where it's the obligation of the Treasury is using the ADR, the account and ADR as the certificate of live birth. Now, if you have down below and you're using your estate EIN, then you would have to be using the account and ADR number as basically your Social Security number up there in the middle of that document.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. I'm gonna get right on it, because I knew that I was looking at this correctly, but I had to ask you. Yeah, I had to ask you.
And then see, the bank's name is really up there in the right or the left-hand corner. And see, that will appear on some checks up there. Sometimes it will be down around the memo line, okay? Depending on how they write the checks out.
Yep.
But I put the additional information on there is where who the principal payer is going to be in the form of the Treasury.
Right.
But they're not the bank. They're the obligatory.
Right. Because they're the ones supposed to, well, actually, they're the ones supposed to traffic everything with honor, with like you said, there's no justice, and they really don't have honor. And we're the ones that's full faith and credit. So we actually have to get up off our rumps, figure this out, and we have to do it. That's the only way we can shut off this deficit. I mean, because if we don't, they'll keep on doing whatever they're doing, and every last one of us, we can stop them from doing that nonsense.
Yep.
Yeah. Thank you, Patrick. Thank you.
Okay. Any other quick questions? I'm going to have to go here.
No, thank you very much, Patrick. You've given us a lot to work on here again.
Okay.
And we're ready to go.
Well, good night, everybody. We'll talk to you later. Catch you tomorrow. Okay.
Thank you. Bye now.
Thank you, Patrick.
Bye.